my name is Lance Robinson. I'm actually an ex-member of the EXCO and the council. I stepped down actually just today, but have been involved with BirdLife South Africa over the last few years, both as a member of the executive committee and also as a council member.
Okay, and what is your particular passion in BirdLife?
Well, I think obviously with birding and birding in general, it starts off with just a pure enjoyment of birds, bird watching per se, going out there, into weird and wonderful places. But I think that actually, your interest kind of, evolves, and you start realizing there's a bit of a bigger picture, and birds fit into that bigger picture. So you realize there's a conservation element that is required as well, and one only has to look and see at what's happening around us each and every day, particularly in urban environments, to realize just how small those patches are becoming for birds to carry on surviving. And just when you hear these stories on a global scale, conservation needs, and it becomes a very necessary part of an agenda of discussion points. Yeah.
And how big a part does BirdLife play in that?
BirdLife plays a significant role in terms of, at least in this country, they're the only dedicated non-government organisation, NGO, who are dedicated specifically looking at bird conservation. So while there are other NGOs, wildlife NGOs that certainly have components of birds and birding, or birds and the environments, certainly BirdLife South Africa is that only dedicated organisation.
Are there any initiatives that you're involved in personally?
So my interest obviously started many years ago. Got involved with the Bird Club and bird clubs, and I actually found out very soon that bird clubs themselves have introduced conservation onto their agendas, onto their committees, and I started getting involved in what we call very much the citizen science part of birding. And that's going out on car or quack counts, and those are where you count terrestrial birds or water birds, and also getting involved in surveys, in raptor surveys. It's actually extended into specifically over the last couple of years with the Atlas, the second Atlas project, SABAP2, and I became a very active, I still am a very active Atlaser as well, as we call ourselves.
Yeah, that's a massive contribution, I'm sure, a massive undertaking, working on the Atlas.
Yes, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. It actually is a personal expense as well. But if you actually see, one actually realizes, and over the last couple of years, when you in discussion with people, how they've used that data, where you've just gone out and enjoyed birding as one normally would, but submitting your birding list to an institution like the Animal Demography Unit, and they use that data to help with planning and conservation initiatives. It certainly is. You get a different kind of fulfillment, even though it's after the fact, that you realize that you haven't just gone along birding in vain, as it were, or selfishly, that you could actually give back in a way to birds and birding as well. Yeah.
Just one last point on the citizen science. I suppose that must be quite a renaissance in a way in terms of information gathering.
Absolutely, and I think it's just growing and growing. It's obviously my personal involvement has been with birds, but I've seen that these projects are growing, with butterflies, with frog data, plants. There are countless ways of people who, whatever their interest might be, to actually contribute to the scientific knowledge of and distribution, specifically distribution of where things are to be found, whatever that interest might be. Yeah.